Next segment is Cryptid Court, something I think a lot of people are excited for.
Hopefully. So basically the idea for this is that we're going to get a cryptid and then we're just going to try and have a casual debate as to whether it's real or not real. And just to make it more interesting, I guess I'll just always or almost always just take the position of it being real, and I guess you'll take the position of it not being real.
Okay. So I'm the realistic one and you're the dreamer.
Yeah. You think with your brain, but I think with my heart.
Aw.
So the way we chose it is that we went to you went to a cryptid random chooser or something.
Yeah, a random cryptid generator.
Yeah. So for next time, what we might do, if people want, is that we'll go to the random cryptid generator, get 3, and then I'll put a poll up on probably the community tab on YouTube, and people can vote which one they want us to talk about.
Which one we want to put on trial.
Yeah.
In the Cryptid Court.
Yeah. So, do you want to say what one we're doing this week?
All right. I need to figure out how to pronounce it first so I don't make a horrible mistake.
I think I listened to a person from the Philippines say it.
Well, then you're the expert. You should say it.
I think it's just Sigbin.
Sigbin?
Like Sigbin, I think.
All right.
I'm not the expert on pronouncing things, though. Everybody knows.
So this week, Cryptid Court is for Sigbin from the Philippines.
So would you like to maybe just give very briefly what it is and maybe why you think it's not actually real?
All right. Well, the first thing is on the Wikipedia page, it says it's from Philippine mythology, which a creature from mythology is a little different, some would say, than a cryptid.
There's some overlap, but yeah. Yeah,
so it says that it comes out at night and sucks the blood of victims from their shadows. It walks backwards, and it can become invisible, especially to humans. It looks like a hornless goat, has very large ears, a long, flexible tail. Some people say it looks like a dog. Yeah, and it's supposed to smell really bad.
Now tell me, why do you think this isn't real?
Well, first of all, like I said, it's a mythological creature, which I give a lot more leeway to mythology as not necessarily being real. Like, just because you believe, like someone who believes in ghosts doesn't necessarily think that ghosts are a cryptid that you have to, prove to be real biologically. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But also, I just find it funny. Again, I'm getting most of my data or most of my information from the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, there's not... Sorry, just to cut in. I'd never heard of this before. We generated it, and there's not a lot of info out there.
Yeah, and it just has a lot of features that don't seem very real-life animal to me, such as, being invisible, clapping its ears like hands. Another thing is it says it comes forth during Holy Week, looking for children that it will kill for their hearts and then fashion into amulets, which is
unlucky.
Why would an animal do that? I mean, why would it only come out during Holy Week, which is a human religious event? Why would it only kill children during that time? And then why would it turn them into amulets? Like, doesn't it need to eat? I don't know. It's strange, very strange to me.
Mm-hmm.
There's more info that it all doesn't add up, which is that some other mythological creatures in the Philippines are said to keep them as pets inside jars. So either they're really big jars or these creatures can change their size, which doesn't seem very real to me. Well, I guess unless they're an octopus, but what else? I don't know. They just don't seem that real. And if you look at pictures, the pictures look sort of crazy. Like you're playing D&D or something. They just don't look that real. But there is one angle I will concede on that maybe you want to talk about since you're on the positive side, right?
Yeah. Okay, so
why are they real? Tell me.
So I guess I have to make a few concessions. I think that if this is I think this is a real creature. Anyway, no, this is what I'm arguing. It may not necessarily reflect what I actually believe. But let's say this is a real creature, and as you described, there's a lot of mythology and certain things that don't seem very possible. But I think if we look at animals throughout history and even today, a lot of times regular animals have supernatural qualities attributed to them. Like, isn't the eye considered like a dangerous creature to some?
Maybe it's dangerous because its eyes are so big,
Well, I don't think it's actually dangerous, but people like are superstitious about it, so like they kill them out of fear.
Well, it's scary that you're walking around and you see this animal with huge eyes. You're like, oh man, what's that? You know?
Yeah, but I think there's something more to it. I don't think it's just...
Yeah, I know. I got
Or
you.
even like, I mean, even in Western culture, like there are animals that aren't as dangerous as they're portrayed to be.
Yeah, like cats.
Like, are cats portrayed to be dangerous?
The bad luck. If a cat, a black cat, they're not gonna hurt you.
Right. So I think perhaps it could be a real animal that just has extra qualities attributed to it. Like, for example, the invisible thing. I mean, maybe it's just very good at, camouflaging, or it's good at disappearing very quickly. I talked a little bit about this in my first ever video, but about the tiger and how it was able to get extremely close to people in like grass that was only a few feet high.
So you're saying tigers can turn invisible?
I'm not saying they can turn invisible, but I'm saying if you were out, in the country and a tiger just came out of nowhere and then seemed to disappear again, maybe to some people they describe that as it being able to turn invisible. It's not actually going invisible, it's just hiding very well. Mm-hmm. Right? The type of animal that it actually is or could be, some people have said it might be a type of kangaroo.
Kangaroos in the Philippines? Do explain.
Perhaps millions of years ago, some kangaroo ancestor or something close to a kangaroo traveled to that area. And there's a few reasons for this. So, well, firstly, a lot of the images, like there are a lot of crazy images of it, but some of the more tame ones resemble a kangaroo. There's even a statue, I think, in Cebu or outside of Cebu, an artist's depiction of the Sigbin, and it looks identical to a kangaroo. Another thing is that you mentioned the smell.
Right.
So apparently kangaroos stink. Male Western kangaroos are sometimes referred to as stinkers.
Oh.
And apparently this is pretty gross, but the way like a joey would be in a kangaroo's pouch?
Yeah.
You probably already know this, but the joey just goes to the bathroom in the pouch, like all the time. So kangaroos apparently stink really bad.
What about male kangaroos? Do they also stink?
Yeah, well, the male Western grey kangaroos stink for some reason.
But if there's no joey, in there, then what's their excuse?
I'm not sure the reasoning behind that. I don't know.
All right.
What else? You mentioned that they were owned by other cryptids?
Not cryptids, mythological
creatures.
Some mythological humanoid demon type things keep them as pets.
Okay. I've read that some accounts that rich people have them as pets.
Oh.
What else? Another thing is that most of the sightings happen in rural areas, where I'd imagine there'd be more cover for them to live in. And as a sort of an overall point, I was reading about the Philippines. Did you know that it's the greatest concentration of unique mammals in the world?
I did not know that.
And that the mountains in the Philippines are some of the most biodiverse places on Earth.
I didn't know that.
So perhaps, like just in 2022, they discovered a new type of shrew mouse there.
Huh.
So maybe there's a kangaroo that lives there too that stinks.
That could be fun. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, if it's a kangaroo type thing, that's interesting. Yeah. But can I just talk about this line in the Wikipedia article that I find very strange?
Yeah, go for it.
So it says, it was often described by some as having a red-brownish hue, suggesting it might be the red kangaroo. Although the dietary comparison between the Sigbin and the kangaroo are far too similar, since the latter is an herbivore. What does that mean?
That must be a typo. It must have been far too different. Because in the mythology, it drinks blood, right?
Yeah. However, bats, lots of bats eat fruit, and then other bats drink blood, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I guess
what's the verdict of the cryptid court?
Well, I was thinking maybe people, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment who you think won the...
Oh, yeah. Make your own decision.
Yeah. And tell us who you think made a better argument.
Well, mostly what we did was just read from the Wikipedia page. If you know
I
more
watched a few
information,
videos actually.
Oh, that's good. Well, I didn't. If you know more information about the Sigbin that we haven't mentioned, please tell us so that we can inform ourselves.
Yeah, especially
or
if you're
seen
from
one, right? Yeah, if you've seen one, please attach a link to an image that you've taken personally.
Yes. We'll download any links you send, no questions asked. Yeah, I was going to say as well, if you're from the Philippines and you've heard legends of this, like stories and stuff, do let us know. But yeah, who knows what we'll talk about next week.
Yeah, who knows?